Going on, everybody? It's Still Alive back with another one, man. And we're gonna get straight down to it. I think it's embarrassing. And I think the Thunder are embarrassing themselves, man. And that's all that this dude is talking about is based off the title. I only watched 10 seconds of it. But based off the title, man, I think he agrees. So we're gonna get right up into this. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Let's get on into it.
Getting over 1 million views of the Thunder flopping. You would think that the NBA would realize it has an issue. Their defending champions and MVP keep flopping for wins, but we as fans have two problems. One, the numbers don't lie. The Western Conference Finals are pulling in a record viewership, which means two, when Adam Silver was directly asked about flopping, he said,
players may be falling down, players may be reacting to a call, but then to me, if they're not fooling the referees, the players are taught to sell calls these days. But the officiating is incredible.
Which would be fine if selling calls was not directly leading to fooling the refs, creating a brand of basketball that many have called an unwatchable product. Even worse, in this series, the refs have been put on full blast. We can see here in a close 10-point game, the ball clearly went off of Chet Holmgren's foot, but Mitch Johnson's challenge was ignored. Then the refs gave Mitch Johnson a tech for complaining. So at this point, we need to have a real discussion. Is this whole flopping narrative getting overblown? Do the viewership numbers speak for themselves?
The viewership numbers speak for themselves because they want to see the Spurs and the freaking beast that's going to take over the NBA finally take down this bullshit crybaby flopping ass team.
Or will this flopping narrative eventually come back to bite the NBA? And if so, how can the league fix this as soon as possible? Because our eyes are not lying. After game 4, Tom Haberstroh counted all of the times Shai fell to the ground, and Shai has fallen to the ground 46 times in the playoffs already, more than other NBA stars, as we can see. But also, half the time Shai has fallen, he has drawn a foul call. Let's keep in mind that the Thunder also swept the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, so Shai played in less games as well. This is not some made-up narrative on Twitter. The stats are right here in front of us. Shai is being rewarded for falling more than anyone else. And yes, sometimes when he falls, he is fouled. In this tweet that ranks all of the falls Shai has had in the playoffs so far, we can see that a few times he is dragged to the floor on a clear foul. But in several other plays, he is just taking a normal jump shot and crumples to the ground like he was just attacked. This kind of falling has led to an insane stat. Entering game 6, Shai has made 38 field goals against the Spurs and 49 free throws. He had
that's insane.
17 free throw attempts in game 5 alone. What are we doing here? We should be watching 2 of the most talented teams in the NBA going blow for blow. Instead, the refs are stepping in way too much, and at times we are watching a straight up free throw contest. This to me is just not fun basketball, but I do want to make one thing clear.
Look at this. This shit's annoying to watch.
Comments
Chet barely gets hit.
Calling me a
like, what is this? What are we doing here? Just play through the contact. Stop this shit.
Out for
Bro, junior high and high school coaches used to bench people for this and teach these kids not to do this when they're young. Like, why is this happening in the NBA?
Falling for this narrative. But I, and many others, just do not find this fun to watch. That is what my own eyes tell me. But I'll also even things out here. Because yes, Wemby does flop at times too. Here's him flopping last series against the Wolves in what was an all-time acting job. And here is also Wemby seemingly telling Mason Plumlee and Bismack Biyombo to throw in some hard fouls, which Plumlee and Biyombo instantly did. Jared McCain was not flopping on these ones. So I'll certainly admit, the flopping can go both ways. But I think the biggest problem here is that NBA players as a whole,
some players will try to sell a call here and there, and if that's really all you're doing once in a while, I can live with it. It's when it's the entire game, like OKC is doing, and it's swaying the entire game.
Whole are just flopping way too much, and it is getting rewarded.
Lost kids need role models. They need stability.
I liked how in game 6 they didn't reward it.
I'm very excited to thank Courtyard. You have the option at market value, and you get to right away. Every pack on the screen a 90% fair market buyback offer every time. So head over to Courtyard, use the QR code on the screen or the order at check. Thank you to Courtyard. He has rules not to use these. Could call technical fouls on these flops. They choose not to use these rules. And I'll stand strong that while the Spurs are flopping to some degree, and that while most, if not all, NBA players flop to some degree, the Thunder are getting all of the heat for a very good reason.
Because they do it so much.
Follows the screen. Gilgeous-Alexander.
The defense for Shea is that players have always sold contact, that there have been big floppers before him, but that doesn't mean we liked flopping before, and that also doesn't mean as fans we can't take it.
It's exactly why people have been complaining about LeBron doing it. It's LeBron doing it is exactly why LeBron could never be my GOAT. As much as I love LeBron as a player, I'm a LeBron fan. I'm a Lakers fan from day one because of Kobe. LeBron could never be my GOAT because of that exact reason, because of flopping. That's why MJ and Kobe are like, those are my number one and number two, and not LeBron, because Kobe and MJ was not flopping like that. You was not catching LeBron or Kobe doing what LeBron did in his career, flopping so much.
Stand right now and decide, hey, NBA, we don't like this. Get rid of it, because there are moments in history where fans all don't like something, like flopping, and it takes a single player or team to push us over the limits of what we'll tolerate. Like in baseball, a lot of people hated steroids, but it wasn't until Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire were breaking home run records that changes actually came. So maybe Shea winning multiple MVPs and the Thunder winning a title and possibly another one soon are what we've needed to finally see a change. Because let me ask you a question. When the NBA rewards flopping, what ends up happening? Teams learn that if you flop, you win with no downside, which means that in order to even the playing field, even the most ethical teams are going to need to fall to the ground. They're going to need to flop to get the refs' attention, because how else are they supposed to win? And right now with the Thunder, we can't believe what we're seeing. But it's not just the flopping. The refs have been truly awful. But on this play, watch as Luke Kornet goes up for a tip-in. It's blocked by Cason Wallace on a play that many, including
100% of goaltending.
Me, thought was goaltending.
100%.
This sequence would end with Luke Kornet getting the foul. And so maybe you don't think much of this. Maybe you
That's a dangerous play right there. Grabbing his arm from the back like that is very dangerous.
Think that the refs are always making bad calls. But the overwhelming narrative of fans right now is that Oklahoma City is getting an extremely favorable whistle, and some are even going as far as to say this has always been the script. On the NBA website on May 26th, it was captured that the league had separated two teams in its store as finals bound. The Knicks, who were in the finals, and the Thunder, who were still playing in the Western Conference Finals. A simple mistake by someone, probably, but there's a reason why people keep jumping at these mistakes. There's a reason why some people are comparing the NBA to the WWE and saying it's all fixed. It feels like when watching a Thunder game, the Thunder are both able to play extremely physical themselves while also getting the more favorable calls. A game was even made called Unethical Hoops that is similar to the game Operation, only it featured Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with a bunch of mini basketballs in him, and the goal of the game was to get one of the basketballs without fouling Shai. A commercial for this game was even produced. Shai, for his part, had his legal team send a cease and desist letter to get this product canceled.
That's hilarious.
This kind of thing
That's fucking awesome. I want the game. I want it.
Matters to casual fans. The NBA wants to keep attracting a bigger audience, but to the guys who love football and baseball and only tune into the NBA playoffs, who might tune into the regular season if they like what they see, a lot of those guys are turning off the games and calling them unwatchable because of the flopping and because of the refs. And Adam Silver knows what everyone is thinking. He's referred to the NBA as a highlight league because the league wants to produce as many views as possible on social media. I personally don't like this either. I wish the league referred to itself as a television league that got social media clips as a byproduct of a great basketball.
I feel like a lot of people don't watch NBA games like full through anymore, except in the finals. Like even I watch as many as I can, like especially Lakers games, but even I struggle to watch them all because, like, first of all, you don't get them on every channel. You got to have 5 different streaming platforms to try to get all of them. It's ridiculous. And then it's fucking so many. And then on top of it, like, you got to deal with this bullshit to where like a lot of people just watch the clips and the highlights and shit online. So, because NBA has a page on YouTube that they after every game it's like a 15 or 20-minute video that they post a highlight of each, like the main plays of each game, and it's like you'll get like 5 to 6 minutes pretty much out of each quarter of the highlights of each quarter.
Game, but that has not been Adam Silver's aim. And when it comes to flopping, in the clip we watched earlier, he also went on to redirect with this.
I think in terms of replay, for example, out of bounds, those calls will be done by an AI automated system. It'll be instantaneous, it'll be automatic. You won't have to deal with challenges on those calls.
So Adam Silver is clearly talking about the refs and what can be done on incorrect out of bounds calls, which means if the NBA wants, they can have the same discussion about flopping and what the refs are doing to stop it. Clearly, they're not having those discussions. Clearly, the NBA is happy with the views they are getting, and they don't mind the hateful clips that are posted on social media because they're drawing huge views. Except, we don't know the long-term effects here. It's true, the Western Conference Finals has pulled in historic view numbers. The Thunder versus the Knicks.
It's pulling in historic numbers because people want to see the Thunder lose. Like, all the NBA fans that have stopped watching the NBA are watching right now because they want to see the Thunder lose. Everybody is tuning in to see this team lose because they are tired of the bullshit. It's ruining the game that millions of people love. It's honestly made watching basketball hard for me as the game I love. Like,
will also probably pull in insane numbers. But the NBA can't ignore a potential huge problem on the horizon. They have a young potential dynasty in the Thunder. They have a young back-to-back MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the Thunder are easily the most hated team in the league, while Shai is the most hated player in the league. Now, we've seen villains in the NBA before. A lot of people
I think when people hated LeBron, though, they hated because they hated him because he left Cleveland, and then they hated him because he was so dominant. People hate Shai because of the way he plays, being unethical. People didn't hate LeBron for being unethical. Yes, LeBron has his flopping shit too here and there, but it's not the way Shai. It's not the same. LeBron would try to get away with some flops, yes, but he wasn't on every play looking to get fouled and all this. Like, it was different. And I still get on LeBron for it.
Rooted against LeBron, especially when he was playing.
But I've never seen a more hated player than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in my 20 years. Even when they hated Kobe after his allegations and shit came out, I don't think they hated Kobe as much as they hate Shai.
Miami. A lot of people did not like Draymond Green when the Warriors were winning championships. Villains are a part of sports, but even if you rooted against LeBron, he was exciting to watch.
Exactly.
Even if you rooted against Draymond, you were watching Steph Curry drain 30-foot jumpers. If you root against Shai, it's possible you watch him fall to the floor and then you turn off your TV. If the Thunder are champions again, a tremendous amount of people will say they don't want to watch a league that highlights flopping. And we also really need to consider the effects on basketball as a whole. If this is where flopping is right now, what happens when it gets more refined and players get even better at selling calls? Little kids always want to emulate the game's biggest stars. And there are already clips popping up of these little kids selling calls with the best of them. Is this what we actually want from basketball long term? And maybe the craziest part, we know the NBA can change this in a heartbeat because they already have. To begin the 2021 season, the NBA cracked down.
I was just saying this in one of my other videos, how this is not good for the kids because Shai and them are practicing this, and now the kids are practicing this. And this is not a good look because I remember flopping one time when I was in junior high and I got benched for the rest of the game and I never flopped again.
On non-basketball moves. They said if a player tried to manufacture contact, the NBA was no longer going to call it. And it worked. The refs stopped calling these fouls, scoring only went down by 6.1 points per game on average. The games were more fun to watch, but guess what? The players hated it. The stars in particular, because of the top 15 points per game leaders in 2020, 13 of them were scoring less points per game in 2021. These stars complained, so the NBA changed things back to how they are now. But we saw with tanking, eventually things go too far. Just like with flopping, teams have been tanking for as long as we can remember. remember. But the NBA realized, hey, this is not good for our product. We'd rather have games stay competitive for the whole season. We don't want teams choosing to lose. So they just completely changed the draft lottery. Now, the teams that finish with the 3 worst records in the NBA are going to get 2 ping pong balls in the NBA draft lottery, while the teams that finish 4th through 10th are going to get 3. That is an extreme change. The worst 3 teams in the league will not have the best odds in the draft, but it shows just how far the NBA is willing to go to get rid of tanking because they see it as a priority. So why don't they do the same with flopping? I think, unfortunately,
that's a good thing. I didn't know that they did that. I completely agree with that.
The NBA wants to protect its players from embarrassment. No star wants to be publicly outed for flopping. Being labeled a flopper, as Shai knows, severely hurts your brand. But the NBA doesn't need to protect its players from this embarrassment. The worst thing that would happen to an NBA player with flopping rules put in place is that they would get a technical foul from flopping, or they would even get suspended. Back in 2013, the NBA
they would just stop doing it. If they started enforcing it, they would just stop doing it eventually. All the players would just start playing ball instead of this flopping bullshit.
Put a rule system in place that would do this. Those rules said that if you got caught flopping 5 or more times, you could get suspended. But the NBA never held strong to these rules either because they didn't want to shame their own players. But it's also because of this fact that we know that if the NBA is willing to give out techs and suspend players, because players don't want to be shamed, they will stop flopping. The only question is,
them fucking pictures are hilarious.
Because players
The new NBA logo is wild.
Don't want to be shamed, they will stop flopping. The only question is, will Shai and the Thunder be the ones who finally get the NBA to switch things up? Or are we going to need to see a huge injury happen off of a flop? Or for
That's what I think is going to end up happening. Shai or somebody on that team is going to end up getting hurt playing like this. They're going to end up falling to the ground and hurting themselves on accident. And then they're going to realize, man, I should probably stop this stupid fucking shit.
Multiple teams to emerge as big-time floppers for the NBA to finally do something. Hopefully not, but with what Adam Silver has recently said, I will admit I am worried. So there we have it. Thank you for...
Yeah, let me know what y'all think below, man. I think this shit has to stop. Like, I don't know what y'all think about it. If you guys think this is fine, let me know below. If you guys think it needs to stop, let me know below.